Very nice, 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 very nice. Fun reviews that get no views gives me the blues. Very nice. The insanity, loyalty, very nice. Sweet and sour, this is our little mess. Very nice. There's never been a show like Very Nice. Doom, da dum bum bum. There's never been a show like Very Nice. Doom, doom. It's time for Very Nice. Very nice. It's me, Very Nice.
And it's me, his friend Piglet.
That's right. And today, folks, we're here to review for an extra special Very Nice. That's right, kids. Today, we're going to talk about none other than the K9 show, the Doctor Who spin-off.
Kill me.
Yeah, my point exactly. So, there are quite a few Doctor Who spin-offs out there, actually, like Torchwood and the Sarah Jane Smith Adventures. Are you okay?
The Sarah Jane Smith Adventures gives me constipation.
Oh dear. And there's K9 and Company. But this isn't K9 and Company we're talking about. This is the official K9 show. And no, it's actually just titled K9, but not the K9 show. But this is probably one of the worst television shows I've ever had to see in my entire life.
It is ultimately disgusting and grotesque just to think about, and we're gonna tell you why.
Well,
so sit back and relax.
Let's get right into the video. This right here is Robert John Baker, or Bob Baker. He is a scriptwriter and the man who owns the rights to the character K9. He was born on the 26th of July in 1939.
What a disgusting year.
I know.
Disgusting day.
Yes. His career, he's written a lot of Wallace and Gromit cartoons, and that's honestly pretty much all he's done besides Doctor Who, which is a little embarrassing. He's been in a few Doctor Who. He did quite a few Doctor Who episodes, and well, then I think we all have to get to what he's coming to next. But he is responsible for the K9 show. Now, ever since a very long time ago, Bob Baker had wanted to create his own K9 show. I think he tried in the 90s, but I think he failed. And then he tried again. But someone wasn't talented enough to turn him away, and the BBC refused his dumb idea. Because the BBC refused his idea, he had to go over to the Australians. That's right, he went to Australia. And he went with this little company, this quaint little Australian TV company called Shout Factory.
Horrible.
Shout Factory. Never heard before? Me neither.
This company is the same company responsible for cult classics like Thunder and the House of Magic. Yeah, I remember this movie, don't you?
No. Bob Baker and Shout Productions, over the course of a little while, created the K9 show.
Show me mercy.
So, the first episode aired in Australia in 2010. But get this, in the UK, the first episode aired in 2009 on Halloween as a sneak preview. 1 year later, the next episode aired. I do not believe that they aired the first episode ever again with the second episode in UK. So, that means they expect people to remember what happened in one episode, and an entire year later, you're supposed to remember. That's just dumb. I mean,
it's disgusting.
I know. It took it 3 years to make it over to America in 2013 when it aired on some network I've never even heard of before. In Ireland, I believe it aired on Cartoon Network, which is
That's unhealthy.
Yeah, which is really just really random.
Desperate?
Yeah, desperate, all right. The show I don't understand is, who do you think actually viewed this show? I bet the viewers they're the following. Random people that didn't know what they were watching, and they just watched it just because they had nothing else to watch. Doctor Who fans that actually wanted more Doctor Who content.
Oh yeah, and fun fact, this show does not continue up or connect with Doctor Who
I'm
at
kidding.
all.
Yes. Doctor Who fans are watching it because they thought they'd get more Doctor Who material, and they were wrong. Or just random people that just watch it for no reason. In the UK, this show aired on Disney XD, of all the places, for some particular reason. And, yeah. The thing is, this show does not have any connections to original Doctor Who, besides K9. And the reason is because Bob Baker he only has the rights to K9 things. He can't show anything else or mention anything else Doctor related because he's not allowed to by the BBC because of rights and things. Therefore, it's very blocky, choppy. It doesn't continue up the original Doctor Who at all.
It's just kind of weird and random and unnecessary.
Yeah, no original Doctor Who villains, no original Doctor Who source material. There's that K9, he doesn't have his memory, so he can't remember anything, and it's just really weird. The only episodes where K9 looks the same are in the first episode and this episode with these Egyptian people, and they show like a picture of him. He looks older, like the original K9. So without further ado, I guess we better get on into this monstrosity. Do you agree, Piglet?
Yes.
We'll talk about one of the biggest and most hugest, most disgusting, humiliating piece of trash that shows off, which comes in the beginning of every single episode, besides the first for some reason, and that will be the theme song.
Oh no.
Did you survive? Well, I hope you did, because we had to survive listening to that every episode, or every episode except the first. That theme song is weird, odd, it's just showing the construction of K9. Is that really a process we need to see? Like, the theme song could have been anything.
Even, Lord forbid, just clips from other episodes.
Or a character roll call. Ugh.
This theme song is just unoriginal, bland.
The weird music,
It's blurry.
weird sound effects everywhere. Like, it's kind of strange. I don't understand why it has to exist. And my favorite part in the end is when they do like the K9 logo. It looks more like H9 than it does K9. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
that looks like an H. And now, what about the K9 and Company theme? Which is worse, the K9 and Company theme or the K9 Show theme? The K9 Show theme's only 30 seconds long, but K9 and Company is double the length, double the torture.
K9 and Company was a failed spin-off show from 1981 about K9 and Sarah Jane Smith, and they were detectives like on Earth.
Yeah, there was only one episode made of it. It was a pilot episode. I
And
wonder.
they never made any more.
I think I can see why. But now that we've gone past the theme of the show, let's get down to the meat of the matter. We have bad plots, bad acting, and bad writing. Let's get right to it, swine.
Okay.
So every episode of this show features a terrible plot that makes no sense. It's really either quickly moving, fast moving,
Or random and unexplained, and they expect that you just don't care.
It's one of those shows they expect the viewers are little children that just follow along, don't care, and will just watch it. Even though, despite the fact that this show, according to the Wikipedia article, is made for and aimed for young adults.
Disgusting.
So the plots usually make no sense. The writing is
And if they
random.
do make sense, they're just so simple and like easy.
Once or twice there's a plot that kind of made sense, but you had to think about it for so long because there's so much being piled in at once. Like,
That's not being explained.
yeah, what they should do is try to like simplify it down. You can have a lot in there, but you can if you
need
want
to
to make
explain it.
yeah, you need to explain it. This
But
show,
that's not what they do.
yeah, this show does us a big favor and doesn't make anything sense at all. The writing is weird. The dialogue is awkward. Doesn't make sense. And
Yeah, along with the bad, miserably
Oh.
acting. The acting is disgusting.
it's very
Plastic. robotic.
mediocre,
Lame.
mediocre to say the least. The acting is cringeworthy. Is it like The Room style acting? I'd say it's like The Room. Similar, definitely. It's boring, it's bland, and yeah. Only two good actors in this show are the people that are actually trying, that are the villains. The two villains are actually kind of having fun with this.
No, not that guy.
The other guy. Not the guy in front, your boy in back. He's actually trying in this show. He's actually trying. He looks like he's having fun at times. He's giving some effort. And the other villain also gives quite a bit of effort too. The other villain, for some reason, is in the second episode, along with the first villain. The other villain just disappears for the show for like 20 episodes and doesn't come back until like halfway in when they replace the original villain, which honestly doesn't make any sense.
They just like replace him because the original villain was like naughty. But like for some reason the two main villains get away throughout their runtime. They get away with doing all these random things.
Like the villain will commit such a horrible crime and he literally doesn't even get like
in trouble.
caught in trouble, like literally.
Until like the one finally gets replaced with the other villain, but then he does all this crap that he
Yeah.
never gets punished for. It's really dumb.
Extremely. New world. Who honestly cares at this point? The trailer makes the show off to be like an action movie, which is completely inaccurate.
No, it's not an action show.
No, it's not. I mean, when there's probably a bit of action every episode, but it's done very lame.
They never
boring.
use weapons or guns.
Whenever
like,
they kill anyone, it's just like a robot who dies, like the aliens who die. But this show,
like two people die off screen, like the whole series.
and this show takes place in the year 2060. We can determine that because in the episode, one of the worst episodes of the show, The Cambridge Spy, they say that 100 years ago, in the years 1960s, is when there are these spies around. 100 years ago. Add 100 years to that, this means this show takes place in 2060.
They do vaguely mention it that it takes place in 2060, like in one or two other episodes, but it's so forgettable that like that spy episode is like the only place you can really get that.
It's
good
not made
information.
obvious enough. The show is kind of weird in that sense, as there's this government that's controlling the current status of the world. The department. Kind of the most like lame name ever. It could have been anything like it could have been the organization.
The group.
But anywho, they are in control of the world right now. We don't have any explanation on where the queen is, where's like the royal family, where's the president of the United States, or anything.
We don't know what happened to the Earth.
It's just in this like dystopian style, fictional future that takes place in 2060 with this new government. Now, this show is made in Australia, but it takes place in England, which I don't understand remotely why. Now, this world that they live in is weird. A world dictated and ruled over by the feared Robomen, controlled by a government that makes absolutely no sense
and
whatsoever.
will never be explained at all.
Yeah.
There's a masked villain, like the masked leader of the government, kind of like, I don't know, like Emperor Palpatine maybe. But guess what? We never get to figure out who he is.
That makes me really mad. Like,
we never get to know. I mean, it's just really bad writing that we just never get to figure out.
Yeah, and the other thing is the second villain they mention. How does he know everything about them? It never explains where the second villain gets all his information from.
Like the second villain is like he knows everything about K9 and his friends.
It never says how though. And it just gets worse and worse. Speaking of the villains, there are only 3 locations in this entire show, pretty much. There's the house, the sewer system, and the invisible car. The villains, pretty much, are only ever seen in this invisible car. I would never have known that they're always in this car because they never make it obvious enough that they're
They
always
only
in
make
this
it
car.
obvious like on the first episode, and then like
They show it again once other
and
time.
then like finally near the end of the series, they start calling it a car,
And they
like,
show,
it gets
like, the
attacked by
And then
Robomen.
there's like the driver and whatever, but like it's not made obvious enough that they're in this invisible car. Of course, it's invisible because they can't get an actual car. The topic of cars, there's this talking car from the show who talks like once every like 100 episodes. One of those is
There's not even 100 episodes in this
no,
series.
but like the car is one of the most unimportant characters. Whenever the car's moving, we never see the car move.
It's a scene change, and then the cars magically.
In another spot.
Yeah, like they can't actually have the budget to drive this car around. That's pathetic.
Yeah. Speaking of patheticness, I think it's about time that we give you a brief description of the first episode, the piece of schist that kicked this crap hole off. This first episode is so scary and made me scream. Let's not waste any time and get into the deep, not really deep, but this brief explanation of the crap hole that kicked this crap off. Eh, Piggy?
Yeah, the first episode is pretty disgusting. It's not one of the worst, but I'm not gonna say it's one of the best, because there are no good episodes. But it's worth talking about.
Let's get to it then. So, the first episode gets kicked off in a stupid-tastic way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, a reoccurring theme of this show is crude toilet humor.
Yeah,
So-
there's a lot of, like, stupid, unnecessary, dumb, crude toilet humor that Bob Baker probably thought of while he was on the toilet.
Yeah.
That's probably where he wrote the scripts for his episodes, on the toilet. But, on the episode. Now, if I'm correct, the boy is in the beginning doing this,
Main
like...
character boy.
Yeah, he's doing this, like, hacking thing or whatever, because that's what he does in, like, the first episode, and then it disappears
And
the show
his hacking
completely.
skills disappear and like they never come back.
And then I think the girl runs into him, and then they run into, like, the house, like, basically, like, one of the out of 3 locations the whole show, the house. And
The
there's...
house is owned by this man who has. It's basically a TARDIS, but like he can't control it.
It's, like, this time machine thing.
That he's trying to go and bring his family back because his family died.
Yeah.
Like this bringing his family back. This man wants to bring his family back. That's a plot for a few episodes. Like that comes back here and there. Like it's important in like the first few episodes, and then it drops out of the show and like never comes back until
And
like,
like
the final 2 episodes.
Yeah, like, it's pretty pointless. And what do you know? The time thing, like, breaks or whatever. Like,
And
there
of
we
course,
go.
it's the main character's fault, and like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm so sorry. I'll try to fix it next time. Oh yes, but of course,
Why do they have Asian accents if they're all
but
Australian?
of course, suddenly, out of nowhere,
The teenage
time machine turns on,
Yeah, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle aliens come through pretty much. Like,
and then K9 comes through randomly.
he looks like how he originally does in Doctor Who. But in order to destroy the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle aliens, I think he has to do self-destruct, commit self-destruct, like to blow up or to do something which ends up
commits
destroying
suicide,
him.
blowing himself up, and he destroys the aliens. He kills the aliens, but unfortunately,
Of course, one still gets away.
yeah,
but-
one gets away, and that's like the plot of the next 2 episodes. But so, his regeneration pack survives.
Yeah, so now K9's like a Time Lord. He can regenerate now somehow. And
He
that,
regenerates into this hideous, new-looking K9.
that like looks completely different from the original design. And the reason why he has to look different is, and why he can't be anything like the original K9 is because Bob Baker can't like make connections with Doctor Who or anything. So like, yeah, K9 also has lost his original memory, which is also another reason why, because Bob Baker can't make any connections. And so
That's honestly really all that happens in the first episode.
I-
so it's like,
I think like I don't even honestly remember what happened in this
our
episode.
villains, they kind of get introduced. We kind of get introduced to like the Roboman, like the government, but
A
like
bit like that it really honestly never explains. Or like, there's these weird things like screens that float around the sky with like the woman on. There's like woman on it like speaking to you. And, like are like the first 2 episodes like never appear in the show again except for like in 1 or 2 other episodes.
Yeah.
Like the girl's mother is like introduced as like the villain despite the
in the
fact
first 2 episodes, and then she just turns good, I guess?
She just turns good in like the
It
best
gets
of the
replaced
episodes.
with the first villain, who then he gets replaced with the second villain.
There's a lot of random villains in this show that you can't add up and doesn't make any sense of.
So really, the only point of the first episode, like most episodes of the series, is to get it started off.
Yeah.
It's boring. Not much happens. Really, they kind of like fight the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle alien that escapes.
But he gets away, and he's like the focus of the next episode too. So like, there's really no point. And like, the second episode just kind of like ends. Like all episodes of the show ends abruptly. Oh, like there's this one scene like the boy is in like virtual reality prison. That's right. They don't have real jails anymore. Now they have virtual reality prison. The girl is able to hack into it so easily. What's the point of having a jail if someone can break in so easily
and release him?
Yes. Also, what he's sitting on this like stone like chair with the glasses on. It would be more effective to put you in a real jail. But if you're gonna put you in virtual reality jail, they might as well have you strapped down to the chair. So if you break out of virtual reality jail, at least you can't actually break out of like the room that you're in general.
Yeah.
And that's really all that happens in the first episode.
It's bland, mediocre,
Dumb,
stupid, and dumb.
Did I mention dumb?
And so it's not one of the worst episodes. But, like, there are 3 types of episodes in this show. Bad, forgettable, and really bad. The first episode of the series was forgettable, like most episodes.
Yeah.
Then there are the bad episodes.
The show kind of goes like a trend, like forgettable, then it gets bad, really bad, then it goes like forgettable to bad, to like
really
forget
bad.
to really bad, then like forgettable and like not just like forgettable, bland and bad, and then like the last like 5 episodes of the show are like the worst of the whole thing.
Unidentified flying device observed outside main department facility.
Monitor it.
UFO is in the department exclusion zone.
Then exclude it.
Firing now.
Well, that's it for this video, guys. In part 2, we'll dive into more brief descriptions of some of the worst episodes of the whole show, talk about the last episodes, get on to what's next for Bob Baker, and some other great stuff. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you better subscribe for more. Please do. As you subscribe to us, we'll usually most likely subscribe back to you.
Yeah, it's worth it. Trust me. You better watch the next episode. It's gonna get rich.
And go watch that. Also, we have other things on the channel, like We Watch Very Nice. You could watch Lego Star Wars, or Best Special Wonka, YTVs, or whatever you choose. So, see you next time.
Goodbye.